Welcome back to PetaPixel. I am your host, Chris Niccolls, and today we're looking at the Hasselblad XCD 25mm f2.5. This episode is brought to you by Aftershoot, an AI-based editing and coloring program that's just been upgraded to Aftershoot Edits 2.0. You'll get consistent white balance corrections that match your own personal style, and the upgraded AI now handles tricky exposure situations, instantly correcting blown out highlights or murky shadows. The new AI masking makes your subjects pop by identifying and improving subjects and allowing you to tweak them yourself or let Aftershoots handle it. You also get advanced new auto cropping and auto straightening tools. Also try Aftershoot's creative styles to mirror the latest signature looks by Joy Zamora and Lily Red. And use the new tab bar, making your workflow easier and more intuitive than ever before. Aftershoots will give you consistent edits every time. So start your 30-day free trial even if you've tried it before and get 20% off the price if you subscribe. Check out the link below and start today. And now let's get back to that snow. Now we have the XCD 25mm quite early, well before the embargo release date. So that's why there's all the snow around, even though now that you're viewing it, it's beautiful summer and everything's glorious. Unfortunately, this time of year in Alberta right now as we're shooting, it's spring, it's yucky, it's brown, it's like not very pretty as far as landscapes go. So I thought instead we would take this nice ultra wide prime lens and go shoot some architecture here downtown.
Breaking apart, bright purple blue, you're bruising my heart. Lilacs, Tennessee handbags. You max out your platinum black label card. You buy anything, keep me in your arms.
So Hasselblad have quite an arsenal of ultra-wide prime lenses available for their cameras. I mean, you've got the 30mm f3.5, which I've already reviewed. You've got the 28mm f4. You've got the 21mm f4. But this is definitely the brightest. So this is a 25mm f2.5. It gives us full-frame field of view equivalents of like a 20mm lens and full-frame depth of field equivalent of an f2 lens. So it's really nice for not only architectural stuff stopped down, but also low-light night photography. Now, even though this is a bright prime lens, it's really manageable for size. Balances beautifully on the X2D, 72mm filter thread, nothing too big, only 592 grams. It's easy and lightweight to carry, but Hasselblad build the XCD lenses to a beautiful high quality standard, really nicely machined, I mean, weather sealed. I do like the fact that we got this very handy manual focus clutch right here, easy to integrate and use. Now, the aperture ring here is interesting because you can set it for either clickable or non-clickable functionality. That would be totally normal on any other brand, but Hasselblad famously removed video from cameras like the X2D or the CFV series, so usually that smooth declicked aperture is really only used for video applications where you don't want any hard stops, but you want to be able to change the aperture smoothly at will. It's interesting they have it here. Does that mean that possibly they're going to come out with more video-oriented cameras in the future, or is it just a tactile feedback where some people might prefer that smooth aperture? So it's easy for a lot of people to complain about the relatively slow speed at which Hasselblad lenses focus. But honestly, I have no beef with this. I mean, the speed at which the motor moves the glass elements, sure, it's not very fast, but no bull. This has never been a fast platform to focus anyways. I don't know if it's the camera that's the limiting factor or the lens itself, but as long as I understand the context that this camera is more intended for landscape and still life photography, I don't have to have a cow, man. So I got this bright sunlight right in my eyeballs and they're succumbing to flare right now. So why don't we talk about the flare characteristics of the XCD 25mm. Hasselblad usually have really nice lens coatings. This is no exception. I'm not really seeing any loss of contrast, even with bright lights in the frame. Ghosting, sometimes in the viewfinder I'll see a bit of a pale green reflection, but it's not really showing up the images, even when stopped down heavily. And while we're on the topic of stopping down heavily, look at the sunstars. Beautiful sunstars out of the Hasselblad. You know how much I love those. So you're probably gonna see a bunch in the sample photos. So we've stopped in here to Rocky Dessert Market. It's this cool little coffee and pastry shop right in the heart of downtown Calgary. And Tommy, the owner, has been kind enough to let us do some bokeh tests in here. Now, when I first tested the 30mm XCD, I wasn't totally impressed with the look and shape of the bokeh, but let's take a look at what the 25mm does. So first, shooting wide open at 2.5, you can see our specular highlights are nice. We're really not getting cat's eye vignetting in the corners. Everything is staying nice and round. No onion rings, no real soap bubble effect. And then we stop the lens down. On the original 30, it had a really strong polygonal effect, but that's gone here. The 25mm got nice round bokeh, even stop down, and that's why you can see the transitions from in focus to out of focus areas are smooth, they're beautiful, it gives really nice pleasing backgrounds without a lot of distraction. So I'm much more impressed with the out of focus look on this lens than I was on the 30mm. So we've wandered here into Eau Claire Mall, which is slated for destruction to make way for a new train station. This is a little sad because this is a favorite childhood haunt. I just grew up in Sunnyside nearby and I would come here all the time. So while we still can, let's see if we can get any fun photos in here. All right, let's take a look at sharpness here, shooting on our test chart in the centers of this 25mm at f2.5. Excellent detail, really nice and sharp. When I stop down to f5.6 in the centers, I notice only a hint of improvement when it comes to overall contrast. Looking at the corners, wide open at 2.5, also a similar story, actually quite decent, although a fair amount of vignetting is seen. You can see how much darker it gets. Stopping down to 5.6 does help corner sharpness a little bit. It also improves some of that vignetting. What I was most impressed with on the 25mm though is how flat it shoots, even up fairly close to subjects. I mean, if the center's in focus, the corners are too, and that's really nice in an overall landscape kind of lens. You're probably beginning to think that we were going to leave night photography out, but no, indeed we did go out, we did get some night photography samples. Let's take a look at that now. So night photography with medium format, there's just not that many lenses made for it. So this actually gives us a nice opportunity. We thought, in keeping with our downtown theme tonight, why don't we shoot the cityscape? We got nice clear sky tonight, lots of lights here to do some testing with. So first off, let's talk about how this lens performs at f2.5. So it's very well corrected for coma, and coma is where sometimes light sources towards the corners will actually take on a comet-like tail, not really seeing any of that blur at all, which is really good. You can though see at the extreme edges and corners a little bit of sagittal astigmatism, and that's where some of the light sources kind of take on a bird or bat wing kind of look. It's not bad. So as a night photography lens goes for medium format, this is not only a fun and unique experience, but it's actually doing a really good job. So I really enjoyed my time with the XCD 25mm. We've got quite a versatile lens here. I like that the bokeh is nicer than the other Hasselblad wides that I've tested. Certainly it's very sharp, and this is also giving us a really nice focal length. I mean, I've played with the 30mm. This is more affordable. I mean, Hasselblad lenses will always be pricey, but we're saving a few $100s here, and we're getting a lens that's wider and brighter. I do also really like that 20mm full frame equivalent. I mean, it's not incredibly extreme wide, but at the same time, if it's wider than you want, you've definitely got the resolution here on the X2D or CFV100 to be able to crop that puppy a little bit tighter. I feel like if you haven't got your hands on an ultra-wide prime yet for the Hasselblad system, this really makes the most sense. You might as well get the extra light and all the optical benefits that the 25mm is going to bring you. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about this lens or any questions that you might have. Check out the PetaPixel podcast as well. It's on this exact same channel, or you can listen to it on all your favorite podcasting apps. Just look for PetaPixel Podcast. Thanks as always for joining us here on this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed our little tour of downtown Calgary. We'll see you soon with more episodes on PetaPixel.